get to be a husband. I get to be a dad. The ways that my parents taught me, the way that all the generations before me lived, is not the way that we're living. Like the way we interact with each other, the kingdom that we're a part of, this invisible world that is impacting our everyday life. Just if you can pick up on the idea of what does it look like to just be a civilized person, it is this. Someone tells me where to go and what to do, and that's what I do. And even in the freest nation that we've ever had, we just dream within the boundaries of what we can do being human. And he's doing good at it. He can get by, he can be successful. I can get him to where I want him to go, A to B. This is why Jesus died, because there's something separate from this form of life and the one to where he's one with me. He has nobody in front of him to follow. He doesn't have a trail. Right now we've got a round pen, but we could go outside of this round pen. We could run down that hill. I don't advise it. I've watched him. But capable of doing things that would never enter his mind. And the way that it was put in the word is, he was like, I will do exceedingly abundantly above anything that you could hope, think, or imagine. So if God's talking to you and saying, I want to do more in your life than you can even hope for, you can't even dream this big. Your imagination can't even experience the things that I have for you, because I refuse to be unseated from this place that makes it to where he and I are one. Sorry, I love doing that when I get kids on a trotting horse, and I figured we've got to get it. Because we've been dumbed down by this idea that us following the rules and being good people is good enough. I'm not against that. I'm actually really, really for that. I love it when my sons actually do the things that they know they're supposed to do. It's really painful and scary when they started doing things that they weren't supposed to do. They hurt themselves. They hurt people around them. I hate it when I get there's other versions of me than this. And my wife gets to see them all. My kids get to see them all. I'm saying the joy that's in front of us makes it to where this is not me just trying to be a better person or something inside of me that's constantly being healed. And the insecurities and the fears and the things that made it to where me as a man, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. Because I knew I didn't want to, and I'm not going to dishonor my dad. But he didn't show me how to love a woman. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I knew that I was doing a horrible job at it. I was getting plenty of feedback, if you know what I'm saying. My wife's with us tonight, and she's like, yep. Can I get a witness? My son's here with me. He got to survive the wrath of Todd, that didn't understand this kingdom and didn't understand this power. And when I felt like I was out of control, I didn't know I was scared. Everybody just thought I was angry. But my anger was this fear of not being in control, because my sons were scaring the tar out of me. And so if I would have been stuck in a kingdom where I just followed the rules, I only would have been able to duplicate what it was that I was given. And it was going to be punishment. When I invited my sons and my wife into a different realm, and my wife and I started learning what it looks like to become one in a marriage, that Jesus, this model that we're doing right here, this is what he gave us as a picture. He says, if you want to see the kingdom, he put it in the context of this marriage, this oneness, that covenant that my wife and I get to enter into, to where her and I are one flesh, and that we get to represent a maternal and a paternal, a father and a mother type of love. That neither one of them is more important than scaring the hell out of me. And I was driving and I was screaming at God, what am I supposed to do with this kid? He's destroying his life. He, like, unrecoverable. He won't be able to get past this. And Holy Spirit so kindly asked me what I'm afraid of. And I started weeping because I'm like, I'm not scared. I'm mad. And he got right to the heart of it. He said, you're scared, son. What are you so afraid of? And Jesus just kind of comes in and he touches that spot and he's like, oh man. I said, Jesus, I only want to do things your way. And he's like, okay, let's do it my way. He's running. He's rebellious. He's doing things the way that he wants to do them. And you're scared because you don't want him to hurt. You don't want him to go through the pain that you went through. You don't want him to become the man that you became apart from me. And all this stuff started making sense to me, that no wonder I'm afraid. I've seen what sin does to a person. And I just didn't want it for him. That was the beginning of a healing inside of me, to where I couldn't control what was going on inside of him. But because he healed what was going on inside of me, what I gained was way, way more important than control. I gained his trust. I gained his respect. I ultimately gained some influence that made it to where he would talk to me about the things, what he was struggling with, where his belief was, why it is that it was tough to be doing life his way. And that ain't stopped. He and I are learning to do life together. It's really good. He's doing so good, I'm kind of skipping some steps here that I don't want to forget that this is a lot for him to take in. And I